Welcome to yet another What Will I Be Watching in X Season video. This is going to be, of course, for spring 2026. So this is going to be, once again, another stacked season of anime, back to back with the winter 2026 season. And I have a lot of things that I want to talk about, a lot of anime that I'm planning on watching, that I want to watch, that I want to see how they pan out before I fully commit to watching. So this is just kind of like an opportunity for me to talk about all of the shows that I am at least vaguely interested in this coming season. I watched basically all of the trailers for all the shows that are going to be coming out on my own time. I read most of the synopsis, checked out the staff of some of them, and at first here I'm going to be talking about the things that I'm 100% going to be watching, then I'm going to move on to things that I'm interested in but I haven't committed to yet, and then I'm gonna talk about maybe some things that just slightly piqued my interest but most likely I won't be watching, just kind of like getting an overall gauge of what you guys think about those shows as well, because I'm sure there are people who have maybe read the source material of a lot of the shows here, so maybe you guys have more of an opinion on those things. But yeah, anyways, so as I said, first I want to move into the shows that I'm 100% going to be watching, that I committed to, and first one is going to be some of the sequels here, like ReZero Season 4. A lot of the sequels I avoided all trailers and stuff like that just because I don't wanna know about them. Like, as I said, ReZero, the only thing that I heard about it is I know that the light novel readers are bigging up this show a lot, or not the show, but this season a lot. Apparently this arc here is really good. I don't know what it's going to be about at all. I enjoyed Season 3 a lot, so I am excited for it. I'm gonna be 100% watching it. That's about all I know about it. So yeah, that's gonna be hype. The next one's going to be finally That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime Season 4. I am so excited for this one now. If you don't know, I read the light novel, the source material, up until volume 15, including 15. And I still have not continued it on because I just haven't had the time. And also, every time that I wanted to continue it on, I was like, man, I should really reread the entire thing because I forgot a lot of the things. And yeah, I don't have the time for it. So I also kind of don't want to read ahead of that because anime is eventually going to catch up, and I kind of like the idea of, you know, going into blind onto some of the later arcs, right? But anyways, this is going to be Season 4, which I believe I saw it's going to be 5 course. I didn't watch the trailer or anything along those lines, even though I am pretty sure I know which arcs this is going to be following and adapting, right? I'm pretty sure since it's going to be 5 course season split into... Initially, it's going to be a consecutive 2-core airing right now, so I'm guessing that's going to be Season 4 Part 1, and then after that, I don't know how they're going to split it. Maybe it's going to be a 3-part season altogether. I'm guessing that what they're going to do is the first core here, or the first 2 cores, the first airing here of Season 4 is going to be probably Volume 10 and 11, because those are 2 separate arcs, and then I'm guessing the last, or the next 3 cores are all going to be Volume 12, 13, 14, 15, which is basically one huge arc, right? That's going to be my guess, and I'm so excited for that if that is the case, right? That would be awesome. But yeah, as I said, I didn't watch any of the trailers. It's been a while since we got Season 3, which, by the way, I know Season 3 gets a lot of like a bad rap because it felt mostly like a setup season, and I do agree with it. I totally enjoyed Season 3. I think Season 3 was absolutely fantastic. But anyways, I'm gonna be 100% watching that. Next up, are there any other sequels? I don't think so. So next up is going to be Akane Banashi, which I think it's about Rakugo. I avoided the trailers for this one as well. I know earlier I said I watched all the trailers. I watched all the trailers for shows that I wasn't sure whether I'm going to be watching or not. If I knew 100% that I'm going to be watching the show, I avoided the trailer and the synopsis. So Akane Banashi, I avoided everything about it. I know it's about Rakugo, I believe at least. And I know that the manga was really, really popular in the year that it was airing. Apparently it's a really, really good manga. And that's why I want to watch it. I think the adaptation is pretty hyped up from people, so I am really excited for it. So that's about all I know. Yeah, the manga is very popular, and I'm 100% watching it. Akane Banashi seems like it's going to be great. Next one, this one is a bit of a unique one. It's going to be Needy Girl Overdose. Right, Needy Girl Overdose. So this is a game adaptation of a game by the same name, and if you don't know anything about the game, it's a strange game that a lot of like streamers and stuff played during like a few years ago. It was very popular in like the VTubing space and stuff because it does kind of like deal with, you know, it's kind of like a very edgy look into some of the streaming stuff, but it was really, really fun. I never actually played the game, but I've seen people play it. So I've seen playthroughs of this game. It is a pretty short game overall with many different endings and stuff. I wonder what kind of adaptation this is going to be, because as I said, this is a game that has like so many different endings, and it's kind of like just you play a run and then you decide on kind of like what kind of path you're gonna go down and just see that ending, right? And usually it's kind of like an edgy ending that kind of like goes into a bit of a, you know, mental instability and all those things. So it was a really fun game, but I wonder how they're going to adapt it. As I said, I haven't, once again, because I know I'm going to be watching it, I have not seen any of the trailers and stuff. Let me check which studio is actually making it. I have it open here. The studio that's making it is Yostar, which I can trust Yostar. They have that gacha money, right? So we'll see how they're gonna do this. I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, but yeah, as I said, don't know much else about the actual adaptation of it, just that it's going to be fun for sure. Next one. Oh, this one I'm really excited about. This one is Shunka Shuto Daikosha Harunomai, or the English title, Agents of the Four Seasons Dance of Spring. So this is an anime that, or I guess this was a light novel, I believe, that was written by the author of Violet Evergarden. So it's from the same author, which means that I'm going to be very excited for it, because I loved Violet Evergarden. I watched it before starting this channel on my own, and I really, really liked it. I am not sure about the premise or what it's like, but I did see the trailer for this one, and it looked really, really interesting. It's about basically, I think, people who, or there are like 4 agents of seasons. So there are 4 people who are basically responsible for bringing about the seasons, the 4 different seasons. So spring, summer, autumn, and winter, right? So there are 4 different people who are designed to, or kind of like responsible for that. And if they disappear, then one of the seasons just disappears, kind of like something around that. I'm not sure what exactly the plot is going to be about, but that's basically the overarching setup for it. That's about all I remember. So I'm very excited for it. The actual studio making it is going to be Wit Studio, so we can expect some great animation with this. The music is done by Kensuke Uchiha, which, if you don't know, they've done Devilman Crybaby, Dan Da Dan, Chainsaw Man, what else was there? They've done a lot of different stuff, like Ibokuyaba, or The Dangers in My Heart, and other things, Orb. Anyways, a lot of incredible stuff. Kensuke Uchiha is kind of like the GOAT. Also, they're doing Journal with Witch or Ikokunike right now, so very versatile person to be doing this soundtrack here. So I'm excited for it. As I said, I'm 100% watching it. And also, as I said, it is by the author of the Violet Evergarden novel. So that is very exciting. Very, very exciting. And it looks gorgeous. So, yep, that's gonna be 100% watching. So next one is going to be another heavy hitter. This is going to be Hat Atelier, or Atelier. I'm not sure, but Tongari Boshi no Atelier. So yeah, as I said, 100% watching it, because I knew beforehand that I'm gonna be watching this. I've avoided all trailers, I've avoided all synopsis, I've avoided all pieces of information about this. The only thing that I know about it is that it's supposed to be kind of like a fantasy, like a juggernaut in the fantasy genre when it comes to like the light novel industry and stuff. And also it's animated by what's it called? Bugs Films? Bugs Film? Is that what it's called? Wait, I have it open here. Bug Films, that's it, Bug Films. It is the studio that did Zom 100, which I haven't seen, but I've heard that the animation, especially for episode 1, was fantastic. So I'm excited for it. As I said, I know that this is very, very, very anticipated in the... Oh, actually, I said light novel. Here it says that it's a manga adaptation. I'm not sure. Maybe it's a manga, not a light novel. If that's the case, my bad. But yeah, I don't know anything about it apart from it being very heavily hyped up and anticipated in the community. So I'm excited for it as well. I love a good anime or a good fantasy anime, so I'm sure this one's gonna be a lot of fun. So 100% watching this one. Next up, we have, I think this is going to be pretty big as well. This is Daemons of the Shadow Realm, or Yomi no Tsugai. So this is by the author or the mangaka of Full Metal Alchemist. Now, this is gonna be, I mean, I've said this before a few times, but I've never actually watched Full Metal Alchemist, or Brotherhood for that matter. I watched the beginning few episodes of it a long time ago, but that's it. I never actually continued it. So I'm not too familiar with it, but purely off of the name brand of Full Metal Alchemist, and obviously, I think they've also, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe they've also done the anime called Silver Spoon, I believe is the same mangaka, I could be wrong, and I know that that one is also very heavily praised when it comes to like the slice of life genre, so I am very excited for this, right? Purely because of the name attached to it. I don't know anything about it. This is also one of the ones that I think this might be the last one where I avoided all of the trailers and stuff like that about it and the synopsis, just because I kind of committed to it because I feel like it's going to be fun no matter what. Let me check which studio is doing it because we're here, might as well. I think it's Bones. It is. It's Studio Bones that's doing it, which I have a lot of faith in Studio Bones, and I'm sure this is going to be fantastic. As I said, Daemons of the Shadow Realm, so that's going to be great, I'm sure. Now, that was the last one of the shows that I 100% wanted to, will be watching. Now I'm going to be moving on to the shows that I might be watching. I'm still considering watching, and some of these I will probably add to my watch list. Some of them I won't. So let's go off the top. The first one being Nippon Sangoku. Now, Nippon Sangoku is one of those shows that I watched a trailer of and I was like, whoa, this looks very unique. The animation is very unique, but also very gorgeous. It's by Studio Kafka, which I'm not too familiar with, but the main thing that piqued my interest with this one is, well, the number one main thing from it is Kevin Penkin is doing the music for it. Kevin Penkin is doing the music. And Kevin Penkin, if you don't know, is the person who did the music for stuff like Shield Hero, Made in Abyss, what's the Tower of God, and many other stuff as well. But Kevin Penkin is my favorite anime composer, and Made in Abyss has my favorite OST in any anime that I've watched. So that's the main thing that piqued my interest. And then also the other thing is the voice acting, or the voice actors in this are absolutely stacked. The cast is so stacked. We have Kensho Ono, we have Asami Seto, we have Yuichi Nakamura, we have Jun Fukuyama, and others as well. So the cast is absolutely stacked for this, which makes me very excited for it. The premise seems really crazy and really fun. It's basically, I'm gonna read it out because I don't necessarily remember it, but a revolution sparked by nuclear war, natural disaster, and misrule leads to the collapse of Japanese society. The country splits into 3 nations vying for hegemony, and the Sangoku era begins. Aoteru Misumi, a former agricultural officer, vows to reunify Japan. He rises through the ranks with only his knowledge and eloquence. Witness the legend of the man, later hailed as a genius strategist. Kind of reminds me of the premise of Kingdom, I believe, which is an anime about basically, I think, the Chinese, I don't remember, I've never seen Kingdom or Red Kingdom, but I believe it's basically about a farmer guy who basically rises through the ranks to become one of the leaders that is planning to reunify China, I think. I could be mistaken because I've never seen it, but I've heard like people talk about it. Kind of reminds me of that, but I think this is set in the modern day, I think. So yeah, very interesting stuff. The premise is very wacky, very crazy. The art style, as I said, is very unique. Kevin Penkin doing the music, so there's a pretty high chance that I'm gonna be watching this. It looks really fun, really interesting. Next one. This one is also a pretty high chance that I'm gonna be watching this. Petals of Reincarnation, or Reincarnation no Kaben. So the animation for this looks absolutely stunning. It is by Studio Benten Film. No idea. Benten Film, it's a new animation studio. Once again, an absolutely stacked VA cast. We have Showa Chiba, Marina Inoue, Ayane Sakura, Ueda Reina, and others as well, which already absolutely stacked. The premise seems pretty metal. I think it's about, I'm gonna read it out as well because it's been like 2 weeks since I watched the trailers. Toya Senji is talentless. He tried everything, but he can't seem to excel at anything no matter how hard he tries. Then he meets Haito, a Kendo champion and humanity's protector. He uses the Stem of Reincarnation to draw on the abilities of her past lives, but it only works when she slits her own throat. And now she wants Toya to join her. So it's very bloody, very gory, very metal, but it also seems very cool. So I kind of want to watch it. Also, I think all of the characters are named after actual like historical figures. So kind of like think Fate, you know? Fate, but from what I've seen, it's pretty unhinged with what figures come back. I'm not gonna go into it, but I think it gets pretty unhinged with some of the figures that it brings back, so I'm excited for it. I am kind of down to just commit to this because I think it's going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, it looks really, really good. I'm excited for this one. But yeah, anyways, the next one is going to be Maho no Shimai Lulutto Lilly. Oh, this is a 180 show, by the way. This is a 180 from the one that we were just talking about. Magical Sisters Lulutto Lilly. Wow, this is a crazy 180 because this is an idol or at least music show. I don't know if it's a... Okay, it is classified as an idol show. Magical idol show. The reason why I'm interested in this one is, well, first of all, I do like an idol show every now and again. But also, this is one of the only anime originals airing in the entire season of anime here, and I love anime original shows, and this one is by Studio Pierrot, which, you know, very established studio, so I have no doubts that it's gonna be good when it comes to animation of it. But it's an anime original, yeah, by Studio Pierrot, magical idols who need to keep their power secret from one another. That's it. I don't know if they're sisters. I think they are. Yeah, I think it's two sisters. Well, wait, isn't that the title? I think it is. Magical Sisters, Lulutto Lilly. Yeah, they're two sisters who basically both gain magical powers separately, and then I think they need to keep it a secret from one another as they go about doing their magical and idol stuff. I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch it. The most promising thing to me about this one is it actually being an anime original, but I'm not sure yet. I'm not sure. It does look fun, but I might also wait a few episodes for the first few episodes to air and see what the consensus is on it before I commit to it. But yeah, anyway, the next one, Awajima Hyake, 100 scenes of Awajima. This one looks, or 100 scenes of Awajima, scenes from Awajima. That's, yeah, those are the titles. This one looks really, really, really good. The art style, I love the art style in this one. It looks absolutely stunning. It seems like one of those shows that's just an absolute vibe. You watch it and you just vibe with it. I don't think it's gonna be one of those like high intensity shows. But there are two big pieces of information about this show that I heavily am interested in, and that is, number one, the director for the show is Morio Asaka, who is just one of my favorite directors in anime. If you don't know what he's done stuff like My Love Story or Ore Monogatari. He's directed Chihaya Furu, which I haven't seen, but I've heard great things about. He's directed Nana. He's directed Cardcaptor Sakura. So a lot of the things I haven't seen, but I've known about a lot of them. Like, I've seen about half of Nana, and the only thing that I remember is it was absolutely stunning. Or not the only thing, but one of the only things. I've seen Ore Monogatari, and I know that it's a stunning show. Like, they've worked on a lot of high-profile shows, and that makes me excited. And also, the animation studio who's working on Awajima Hyake is Studio Madhouse. Studio Madhouse is working on this show, which I'm sure is going to look stunning, and the trailer looks absolutely stunning. The actual premise of it, let me read you guys the premise. Awajima Opera School, where countless girls from across the country flock in hopes in one day standing on the big stage. As they work towards achieving their dreams of stardom, their time at Awajima is filled with as much friendship and admiration as competition and jealousy. The precious feelings of girls who are at once both classmates and rivals, tenderly captured in the portraits of an ensemble cast. Yeah, The tags of this are school, primarily female cast, episodic, ensemble cast, josei. So, drama, music, romance. Romance. Oh, okay. Yeah. Seems very straightforward, very fun, very vibey, but we'll see. I am very drawn to it, but I'm not gonna commit to it just yet. I am thinking of watching it though pretty heavily. Yeah. Next one. Okay, this one is a bit of a joke, but Niwatori Fighter. I watched this, I was watching this trailer and I was absolutely stunned by how hard it's going. Niwatori Fighter, and I believe the first 2 episodes of this show are already out. So this is a show about like hens, about chickens, about like hens, cocks fighting. And that's kind of like it. I think they're kind of like, they can speak and stuff, but they're like just normal chickens. And then they go around and they're like Chad chickens who like fight, but they look like chickens normal. And then they fight things and they're like Super Sentai, but like chicken. I don't know, but it looks kind of peak. I'm probably not gonna watch this, but I wanted to talk about it because it seems unhinged. And it's by Studio Sanzigan, who they've done one of the Idol Masters. Was it Million Live or was it, wait, I can check it out. Oh, they've done Ave Musica as well, that's right. And they've done Ulmix, It's My Go, that's right. They've done a lot of like Bang Dream stuff. Did they not do Idol Master? Was I just imagining it? I thought that they did one of the Idol Masters as well, but I might have been just imagining that. I think I made that up. Yeah, it seems that way. So yeah, they've done a lot of Bang Dream, and if you haven't seen the latest Bang Dream seasons, especially Ave Musica and It's My Go, those look absolutely incredible. So visually speaking, even though it's a full CG show, and this one is also a full CG one, yeah, I have no doubt that it's gonna look good when it comes to a CG show, but yeah, it just seems unhinged. The next one is MARRIAGETOXIN, which is a Studio Bones anime once again, and it looks really pretty. It looks very colorful from the trailer. It has a kind of a fun premise of basically there being like different families that specialize in different stuff, like poisons and like, I don't know, different, I don't remember the exact thing. They all have like different specialties, and then they kind of like fight each other or something, and then there's a guy who has to protect his sister. It seems just like it's one of those shows that's a lot of fun. I'm not sure if I'm gonna watch it or not yet, but I remember having a lot of fun with the trailer, and as I said, it looks really good because of Studio Bones, and they rarely miss when it comes to animation. So it is up there on my list of things to look out for at least, and it looks, yeah, as I said, very fun. But the next one is, what is this one? Oh, Otaku ni yasashi garu wa inai. Girls can be kind to otaku. What a title. What a title. So I think the main thing with this one is the character design for the main girls looks kind of crazy. It goes so hard. The story is kind of generic, but the vibes seem pretty good from the trailer. It seems like it could be one of those comfort shows of, you know, just watching a comfort romance with some good character designs for the girls. I'm probably not gonna watch it, but it looks fun. It looks fun. So I think it is one of the shows to look out for. And then the next one, this one is, I think, a big one in some circles, probably. And that one is Mao. Mao. Now, this is a show, and the reason why I say it's big is because it is, the manga of this is done by the legendary Rumiko Takashi. Is it Takashi? Rumiko Takashi. So if you don't know who that is, it is the mangaka of Inuyasha, Ranma Half. What's the Lum? What's the one with Lum? Urusei Yatsura. Like those three are, and I believe there's more even, but just those three are like huge manga series and eventually huge anime series as well. And they're all by Rumiko Takashi. Is it Takashi? Wait, I'm gonna check it out because it's bothering me now, because I thought it's Takahashi, but it could be Takashi. It is Takahashi. Rumiko Takahashi. I wrote it down wrong. Rumiko Takahashi, an absolute legend in the manga sphere, and as I said, this is her manga, and that's basically the main reason why I am kind of like looking at it. The story itself, I'm not sure what it's going to be like. The trailer and the synopsis didn't tell me too much about it. It looked very Rumiko Takahashi. I haven't watched any of her shows before or read any of her manga, but it looks very much reminiscent to what I've seen from the rest of her shows, which isn't a bad thing. But I am still not sure what it's going to do. It's by Studio Sunrise, which it looks good. It looks good. Studio Sunrise have done some great stuff. But I am, as I said, I am very much on the fence. I think I'm gonna let it cook for a bit and then see what people think about it. And then we might come back and revisit it if it turns out to be a good one. But if you love Rumiko Takahashi stuff, then I'm sure you already know about this and you are already on your way, ready and strapped in to watch it. So the next one is Kori no Joheki, or the Ramparts of Ice. Now this is I think it's a pretty big one because it's by the same mangaka or same creator as You and I Are Polar Opposites, which I haven't seen, but I've heard incredible things about, right? And I believe this is their first manga. So they wrote this, I think it's a manga at least. They wrote this before You and I Are Polar Opposites. So it looks pretty interesting for a romance. It looks quite dramatic from what I'm seeing. I don't know how dramatic You and I Are Polar Opposites is. From what I saw, it kind of looks a lot more like wholesome and good vibes, but this one looks a bit more dramatic from the trailer. The art style is fantastic. It very much is reminiscent, at least the character design is reminiscent of Polar Opposites. And I think it's about, yeah, it's a drama about overcoming the past. I think like the characters are all carrying some kind of like baggage with them from the past, so they need to overcome that. The VAs are very stacked in it. Ana Nagase, Showa Chiba, Fuka Izumi, and others as well. So it looks like it could be a very, very solid show, but I'm not 100% on it just yet. All of these shows that you're gonna see from here on out are shows that I'm likely not gonna watch, or at least I'm not certain on. So the next one is Liar Game. It is a really, really, really popular manga from what I've seen, and it ran for 10 years, from 2005 to 2015. The plot seems pretty interesting. It's basically just a liar game, right? You need to suss out, I think, who's lying, and it's kind of like a mystery, kind of like Among Us, I think. With also, I think it has like elements of like escape room, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not fully sure. The trailer, I wasn't too sold on it from the trailer. It didn't look that interesting. The art style is kind of cool because it looks very old school, because the art style, the way that they're making it look, not that it looks bad, but it definitely has a certain like different vibe to it. It's by Studio Madhouse. I'm not sure on it. I very much am leaning more towards waiting and seeing what's gonna come out of it. But yeah, anyways, the next one is, what's this one? Aishiru game wa Owarasetai, or I Want to End This Love Game. I think this is a pretty popular, I think once again, manga, a romance manga, and it kind of looks, it reminds me of like something like Giji Harem or Pseudo Harem, and like Kaguya. The premise is kind of like Kaguya-sama from what I'm seeing, right? Where it's like two people basically trying to confess to one another, or trying to make the other one confess, something along those lines. I'm not too sure. It looks kind of fun. As I said, I think the manga is pretty popular, but the trailer, I wasn't sold on it. Also, it didn't look that good, purely like visually speaking, at least the trailer. And I know this is like this is a minor complaint, that's like a very whatever complaint, but like every single shot, that the second that they distance the camera from the characters a tiny bit, everything was CG, which is fine, but it wasn't great CG. It was kind of janky, so I'm not sure. We'll see. Right? I'm probably not gonna watch it though. The next one, I only have three more that I wanna talk about. The next one is Karasu de 2番目に可愛い女の子の友達になった. I became friends with the second cutest girl in my class. So kind of like my Dress Up Darling, very similar vibes to my Dress Up Darling, very, very similar vibes. The animation seems pretty good. Manaka Iwami voices the main girl, which is a pretty big plus. I really like Manaka Iwami. And there seems to be a love triangle in it based on the trailer, which is always kind of like fun if it's done in a, you know, fun tongue-in-cheek way. But apart from that, it doesn't necessarily hit the same, you know, notes as my Jazz of Darling to get to that level, but I could be proven wrong if it ends up being good. It's just something that I saw and I was like, you know what, you've piqued my interest, at least a little bit. The next one is Kamiina Botan, Yoeru Sugata wa Yuri no Hana. Botan Kamiina fully blossoms when drunk is the English title. It's a Yuri anime with Yoshino Aoyama as the lead VA, which I think that's the main selling point for me for it, right? It didn't look like anything too special from the trailer. It's basically a girl getting drunk and then becoming a lot more, I think, outgoing, and kind of like her personality changing a lot when drunk, and like it's kind of like, I think, a comedy rom-com about this girl becoming basically a 180 person when drunk, right? I think, and it's kind of like has some Yuri romance in it as well. So yeah, looks like it could be someone's cup of tea. I'm not sure about it though right now. And then the last one that I wanted to talk about is not because the anime itself interests me, but there's one detail about it that interests me, and that is Haibara-kun no Tsuyokute Seishin New Game, Haibara's Teenage New Game Plus. And the only reason why I have this one on the list here is because the main character's VA, the main girl's VA, is Kanon Takao, who I absolutely love. She's the long-haired, black-haired girl from 100 Girlfriends Season 2, but she voices mainly Sakiko from Bang Dream Ave Musica, right? So that's basically the main one. And that's the only reason why it even piqued my interest, because I love Kanon Takao. And I was like, you know what? We don't really get to see many of her roles outside of Bang Dream, so whenever she shows up, I'm like, yo, it's canon, it's canon. So yeah, that's the only thing. The actual trailer didn't really interest me too much, but yeah, that's about it. So those are all the shows that I've picked out of the entire list of the shows that we'll be adding in this upcoming season. As I said, the beginning ones are the ones that I'm 100% going to be watching, and then there are a few that I'm pretty sure I'm going to be watching, and the rest of them I'm going to be keeping an eye on and seeing where they go, and then eventually maybe adding them to my schedule as well. But yeah, tell me which shows you guys are going to be watching, and out of the ones that I talked about, are there any that you are very interested in that maybe I either didn't talk about at all, or that I maybe dismissed here as something that I'm not sure about? Let me know. So yeah, that's gonna be it. So see you guys in this new season of anime. Peace.